Hey guys, this is our group project, and our group consists of Zoe Ge, Frank Yang, and Lulu Zhu. And as we all know, technology today makes everything so easy. With our laptops, everything we do is at our fingertips, literally. Nowadays, more and more students are typing their notes instead of writing them. But is it doing us any favors? Well, luckily, we're about to find out with a significance test. Our statistical question is, will handwriting notes really improve retention compared to typing notes?
Wow, I'm curious. So, what happens next?
I'm so glad you asked, Greg. Obviously, as any good AP Stats student would know, you need to conduct the experiment.
What a smart idea, Kate. Mrs. Dobashi would be so proud.
On Thursday, January 12, 2017, 19 juniors from Canyon Crest Academy volunteered to be subjects of our experiment through a Facebook post. We used the ran-in function on a TI-84 with ran-in 1, 2 for each person, and those who received 1 were placed in the typing treatment group, and those who received 2 were placed in the handwriting treatment group. There were 7 for typing and 12 for handwriting. They then proceeded to watch an approximately 5-minute video called Magic Chocolate Lava Cake Dessert Recipe How to Cook That Chocolate Fondant Handwritten. And then they were all given the same 10-question quiz at the same time. This is our raw data, and by looking at the graphs, you can see that the distribution of the handwriting group scores and the type group scores can be assumed to be normal because there is no strong skewness or outliers in either. The mean of the handwritten group is 7.25, which is greater than the mean of the type group, which is 6. The IQRs of the handwritten group and the type group is 2.5 and 3, respectively. Therefore, the variability of the handwritten group scores is greater than the type groups. Overall, those who wrote their notes by hand received better scores on the quiz. See, now that the experiment's done, I'm not sure how to analyze our data. Do you mind helping me, Ed?
I sure can. You need to do a 2-sample t-test, Kate.
In our states, we see that the null hypothesis is that the means of the scores of the handwritten and the type group are exactly the same, and our alternate hypothesis is that the mean of the handwritten is greater than the means of the typed. We will be using a significance level of 0.05. Our population mean 1 is the true mean quiz scores out of 10 of the group taking notes by hand, and our population mean 2 is the true mean quiz scores out of 10 of the group typing their notes. Our test name is a 2-sample t-test for a difference in means of population mean 1 minus population mean 2. The conditions are random, 10%, and large sample. We fulfilled the random condition because our treatment groups were randomly assigned to either typing treatment group or handwriting treatment group. Our 10% condition is fulfilled because 90 CCA juniors is less than 10% of all CCA juniors. And our large sample and normality conditions fulfilled because our sampling distribution shows no strong skewness or outliers.
Alright, so now Wacky Ed will take over, and we are on the do section of the state plan do conclude procedure. Now, looking at our first sample here, our N1 is equal to 12 members in our first sample. Our sample mean 1 was 7.25, and the standard deviation of the first sample here is 1.357. Now, looking at our second sample here, we have 7 members, and we have a sample mean here of 6. And then moving on to our standard deviation of this second sample, we have a standard deviation of 1.414. Now looking down below here, we have our t-statistic all laid out nice and proper with our sample means, our population means, and our standard deviation and N1 and N2. Going down here, we see our degrees of freedom of 12.25 and our p-value of 0.042. Not to mention that all coming from a t-statistic of 1.89. Alright, you laddies, now we're moving on to the conclude section of the state plan do conclude procedure. So here, because we have a p-value of 0.042, and how that is less than 0.05, our alpha significance level, we reject the null hypotheses. We have convincing evidence here that the true mean quiz score of those who handwritten their notes is greater than the true quiz score of those who typed their notes. What a surprise! See, that wasn't too hard, was it? Now are we ready to wrap this all up?
But wait, Ed, don't forget about reflecting on this experiment.
Alright, laddies, let's reflect on what we've done here. So the good. The treatment groups were all randomized in a simple fashion. And then we have the fact that the methods of measuring retention rate were all controlled for every single subject. Ain't that right, laddies? Now we have the fact that the sampling distributions of each treatment group show no strong skewness. Now for the bad. The subjects should have taken the quiz a day later, as to not confound the results with the subject's long-term memory. We also should have put time constraints for quiz taking. All these laddies had all the time in the world. And then we have the fact that a greater sample size would provide a greater representation of whether handwriting notes improves retention rate more than typing notes among the population of CCA juniors. Now looking to the future, not the past. A more precise comparison could have been made between different forms of typing mediums such as tablets, phones, and computers, etc. Our subjects should also have taken quizzes at different levels to make sure that we measure the difference between retention rates. So, a question to leave out here for all you folks out there. Is there a way to equalize the retention rates of handwriting and typing notes? Think about that. Wow, laddies, I can't believe you got through all of that presentation. Double high fives all around. This class was such a fun time. Gonna miss everyone. All you laddies out there, have a great time and enjoy more statistics. So long, laddies. Farewell and goodbye.